Well, there it is. Hey there, this is another Starcraft 2 commentary by your favourite, WTii. Or maybe not your favourite, but one of them I'm sure. Now this is a 1v1 on the map Steppes of War, and it's Korkimorki as the red Terran at the top position against myself, WTii, as the Zerg, the blue one, at the bottom position. Now, this is an educational video more than anything else really, and I'm going to be teaching you for it. And you'll see what I'm doing here right now. Already you're going to be starting to learn. Look at these drones, they're on their way. Why are they on their way? Basically I sent about 8 food, 2 drones, and on they go. Because it's a small map, I know that they can reach the opponent's base in a very short time. And roughly if you send your drone at about 8 food, that's when the Terran has to then build his like supply depot and barracks or B, whatever it is. So 1 drone most Terrans can handle, but 2? This is when they get confused, because they naturally pull off 1 SCV to then deal with the offending drone. But now he's like, hang on a second, there's 2 drones here. Now I've got to micro really hard myself. So not only does this make it hard work for your opponent, and he's always keeping 2 SCVs off at the same time whilst you're keeping 2 drones off. So you've always got the same amount of, income coming in, essentially. Because you're always keeping 2 of his workers busy whilst your 2 workers are going nuts in their base. He's actually probably losing his track of what he's doing, and probably it makes it a lot harder for your opponent to play, put it that way. And it's quite easy to do if you know how to micro. Coming from a Warcraft 3 background, it's pretty sweet. So this is basically individual control of both the drones. Don't think I had them hotkeyed, don't really need to, but you just basically need to dodge in between both the SCVs. And then I got a couple of kills. Let's have a look at the units lost. So far my enemy has already, with just these 2 drones, they've paid for themselves in a sense, is 100 minerals. He's lost 100 minerals, and he's probably a bit behind, I would say. Just ever so slightly. He didn't falter too much, not as much as some people might. So yeah, this is quite funny, just kiting. As you can see, keeping 2 of his SCVs busy. Now that the barracks is up, a marine is going to be out in about 20 or so seconds of real life time, so I know that I'm unlikely to get any more. I might be able to get the kill in the middle there, but if I go for that, then he could just bring all his SCVs and close in on my drone. So the most annoying next thing I can do is basically take both of his extractors. This denies him a tech lab or any other further tech up the tree. Now he's very suspicious, getting himself a bunker, and he should rightly be so, because I'm going to be stopping at around about 15 harvesters, which is a nice bit. I got myself quite a late pull there. You can see it's gone up just about 19, so that was about a 15 pull right there. Because I knew all this harass was going to slow my opponent down, not to mention putting down the extractors in his base, which most of your enemies will leave the marines that kill the extractors. They're very, very unlikely to send the marines straight to your base, because it's just really going to work. So you can afford to get a pull really late. So what else is being produced right now? I'll get myself the speed and a queen. So as soon, that's what you get the extractor for. You basically get the extractor just slightly earlier than the spawning port, if you can help it. Now my opponent is obviously going to want to try and get that gas at some point. And meanwhile he's building another barracks at the side here, thinking I can't see it, but of course the Overlord can see that, so I'm well aware of more barracks coming down. So this is great for me really, more infantry, more for my Zerglings to eat up basically. And he's trying to get a little SCV around here, which he's doing quite well, but the 2 Zerglings are going to deny him that. I'm not sure if he saw my expansion. Let's have a look if he did. No, he did not. He does not know that I put down an expansion. Basically the expansion went down because whilst I am pumping out mass lava and essentially mass Zerglings at this point, because the only thing I want to be making at this point is mass Zerglings, because I want to bust in after the huge damage I've done to him at the start. He's already going to be weak, so there's no better time. Arguably I could have got the speed a bit later, because I didn't actually use these Zerglings until a little bit later because of the bunker being there. But I guess it's not a bad thing to really get early speed no matter what, to be honest. So there's no real harm in it as long as you can afford it. And the reason why I got the hatchery is because otherwise I would have been sitting about 500 minerals, and every time that the 4 lava was ready to pop out of the queen's spawn lava, I'd still have about 200-300 excess minerals. So what I've done is get myself a second queen that was building sort of like as this hatchery was finishing off. This queen's going to spawn lava, as you might have just seen. Going to make her way over to the next hatchery so she can spawn lava on that one. So then the queen comes out of this. You've got 2 hatcheries then to mass Zerglings. So not only have you got the hatcheries building up lava, you've got 2 queens on each hatchery. So you can really keep pumping out the Zerglings should they fail to basically do their job, the initial ones, so you can keep them coming. Obviously a baneling nest is coming up here because 2 supply depots and a bunker is beautiful to blow up. I mean, you only need like 5 banelings to blow up a couple of those, so no problem here. Got a bit cocky with my overlord, but that's not a big deal for me because I made sure to fill up my supply cap before he killed that. And not really a big deal there. I think I just really wanted to see what was going on, but he's hit a lot of his buildings inside. What my opponent has done wrong here is, I'm just going to pause the moment here, is he's built himself a reactor at the barracks. Now, in my opinion, he would have been better off just building more barracks. You know, because the reactor takes so long that by the time that reactor has gone up, he hasn't even really had time to start spamming out marines. He's also been getting himself he's gone heavy on the refinery. There's 2 refineries. Because I denied him for so long, he probably thought in his head that, wow, I would have had one one refinery by now, so I can start building up the gas, and then I won't need that second one. But because he's stopped the first one, I need 2 right now. I need mass gas. Not really, not really. So he's overreacted with that. He's got an engineering bay, which upgrades. He's doing upgrades. He's got a stim just starting. He should really, really be expecting a heavy rush from me. I mean, he didn't see the hatchery, the expansion. I mean, even if he didn't see the expansion, you think, well, 1 base, surely I'm going to rush if I didn't get myself an expansion. Let alone the fact that I know I've played Zerg enough now to know the balance between getting 2 hatcheries and 2 queens and being able to afford all the Zerglings that I can possibly get with all the minerals, sort of balancing it off. So yes, my opponent has made a lot of mistakes here. So this isn't really like a skill game. This is just more for you Zerg players, what you would want to do in this situation. So yeah, harass him heavily with the 2 drones at the start. Really throw him off the game. Go for a late pull, as long as you know that you can keep your opponent busy. Then obviously get yourself another hatchery as soon as you can, whilst getting the queen. That way you can have so much potential lava to turn into Zerglings. And Zerglings are very cheap. As long as you've got about 15 or 13, 12 drones on the minerals, you should be able to keep up about 2 hatcheries, even worth of 2 queens on those 2 hatcheries worth of Zerglings. So yeah, obviously you only need about 5 banelings, by the way. It's basically about 4, but I always get 1 extra baneling to burst through a supply depot. And if you want to try and burst through, you want to make sure that you hit like the middle. That way you're going to blow up both. You could possibly hit the middle of this bunker, but I'm not sure if the AoE is large enough to hit both the supply depots. That's something I need to test. So I didn't risk it in this game, but it may well work. So that way you could take out all the buildings. And also, going back to what my opponent did wrong was mass upgrades. Reactor. Why? Get 2 barracks and start making marines. He would have had more marines if he just built 2 barracks, started spamming out, than with that 1 reactor. Because by the time that reactor's done, I'm ready to attack. And he's still building more and more stuff. So yeah, he's not going to stand a chance. So let's go and watch the carnage now. You send in a couple of Zerglings just to take the initial fire from the bunker, and there you go. Hit it about there, takes off. All those marines are now weak, and you just basically slide in your Zerglings in between his marines, and it's a slaughter basically. He gets his SCVs all in front. He's actually got a hell of a lot of workers here. Currently got 25, which is really oversaturated as well. That might be a bit too much saturation. Rather, should have sacrificed a few workers well, considering you can get mules too, and just focus heavily on spending that mineral on marines. Meanwhile, what I do is, whilst I'm doing the attack, I always split off a few Zerglings, send them up towards the top of his mineral line, and turn them into banelings. Hence, if the Zerglings did get screwed over, I'd have a lot of banelings to blow up the rest of the units. So there you go, basically. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something from this. See you later.